Now at 9, Israel has ended a tense ceasefire in Gaza. Find out what these recent attacks mean for the conflict.
And President Trump's recent call with Vladimir Putin. See what this call means for a chance of peace in Ukraine.
Then, an international scholar spoke at Ball State. Find out how language equality is important to those around the world.
And a pair of astronauts stuck on the ISS return home. Find out how NASA brought them back to Earth.
And I'll be tracking a chance for severe weather tomorrow. NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Demar Robinson.
And I'm Braylon Judy.
Israel carried a massive deadly airstrike attack on the Gaza Strip last night. Gaza officials are reporting more than 400 people have been killed in an overnight bombing from Israel. Hundreds more are injured or believed to be trapped underneath the rubble of shattered buildings. An expert spoke about the psychological impact for the people of Gaza.
It's devastating for all of us here, but it's devastating particularly for Palestinians, particularly for children. These are children and their parents that have known nothing but fear, grief, and suffering over the past 15 months.
These bombings mark the end of a fragile ceasefire that went into effect in January.
President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin sat down over the phone today to discuss further action on a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia. The Kremlin says Russia has agreed to stop attacking energy infrastructure facilities in Ukraine for 30 days. And President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine will stop attacking those sites in Russia. There is no indication Putin accepted the 30-day ceasefire that Trump has endorsed, which has received backing from Ukraine. The Kremlin says a key condition for preventing escalation of the conflict is that foreign military aid and intelligence to Ukraine is halted.
U.S. aid cannot be dismantled. That's according to an order from the federal judge for the U.S. District Court in Maryland. He says the government's efforts to shut down the humanitarian aid agency likely violated the U.S. Constitution. The judge's order also cut off staffers from the Department of Government Efficiency from sharing sensitive personnel data kept by U.S. aid.
In a world where cultural identity is a topic of debate, one scholar from Zimbabwe is seeking change here at Ball State.
NewsLink's Mira Bloomer has a story.
Emmanuel Sutule, a scholar from Zimbabwe, visited Ball State's Rinker Center to discuss the oppressive Mugabe regime in Zimbabwe and its negative impacts on language and education.
So there's a huge intellectual gap that is open. So I'm coming in to fill that gap, to say to the world, you know that we have now people who are worth studying.
During the event, Sutule captivated the audience with his message about how an individual and a country's identity can be claimed or reclaimed through language.
Need to have a way of including them so that they can also succeed, so that they also do better.
He explained reasons why preserving native languages is essential in the fight against oppression.
Learned 6 languages before coming across English. You see what I mean? So in a classroom, I'm expected to compete.
His dream is to empower students to embrace their heritage and build confidence in who they are and where they come from.
Because the country is full of people like Emmanuel Sutole, and they have good ideas, and they are young, and they are going to fight to make the world, not just Zimbabwe, but the world a better place.
Sutule is looking forward to teaching the next generation about understanding their cultural roots and the importance of pride in their identity.
I'll be a professor who is very inclusive in his approach. I will understand that we have people who come from diverse backgrounds.
Sutule's visit to Muncie aimed to create important conversations about culture, identity, and the need for resilience in the face of adversity. In Muncie, Mira Bloomer, NewsLink, Indiana.
For more information about Emmanuel Sutule's work, visit www.ballstate.com.
President Trump plans to release previously classified files covering John F. Kennedy's assassination. And he intends to do so tomorrow. The documents covering the assassination were discovered in February. Trump says all the documents will be released, amounting to around 80,000 pages. The CIA, Pentagon, and State Department still have documents they've refused to release, citing the protection, the identities of confidential sources, and the method of how the information was gathered.
A pair of stranded NASA astronauts finally splashed back down to Earth after an unexpected 9-month stay in space. The spacecraft carrying Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams landed in the water off the Florida coast this evening. The astronauts were alongside 2 others in a SpaceX Crew 9 Dragon capsule. Wilmore and Williams first launched into space last June on a test flight of a Boeing Starliner spacecraft. NASA later decided it was too risky for them to return to Earth on the same vehicle, extending a planned 1-month-week mission to many months long. Teams at NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston will focus on getting the astronauts readjusted to life on Earth. And speaking of life on Earth, bringing these back down to our atmosphere, pretty nice day for weather.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was, I mean, not too hot, not too cold.
No.
A little colder than last week, but still perfectly good.
Yeah. Noah, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thanks for you guys. Yeah, the weather tonight certainly isn't out of this world, but we have something pretty close here in Muncie. This is our brand new Cooper Science Skycam here, showing all of Ball State's lovely campus here. Special thanks to our folks over at Fox 59 and within the College of Science and Humanities for providing us this camera on top of Cooper Science. What we're tracking tonight in terms of headlines here, we have a severe weather threat, especially tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, some Thursday flurries, and near normal temperatures into the long run. I'll have all this and more in my full forecast later in the show.
Coming up, 21,000 Department of Defense workers resigned today. Learn how this fits into the administration's plans.
And how job scams are evolving with the times. Find out what this means for those looking for employment. Stay with us.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for all.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back. Nearly 21,000 Defense Department civilian employees have accepted resignation offers. A senior defense official said those employees were approved to participate in the voluntary Fork in the Road program. The department is currently in the process of placing those approved employees on administrative leave. The Pentagon is still working on firing probationary employees who have been in their jobs for less than a year. The resignations and firings are all part of the Trump administration's order to reduce the federal government workforce.
Thousands of Social Security workers are taking buyouts as the Trump administration downsizes the government. The SSA is losing more than 2,500 employees to buyout offers. The announcement follows the administration's directive to cut federal workers. The agency said nearly 2,500 workers signed up to receive up to $25,000 through a voluntary separation incentive payment. The deadline to apply for the buyouts is Friday, and those who are approved must leave by April 19th. Nearly 350 other staffers accepted a deferred resignation program last month.
Economic uncertainty, high-profile layoffs, and deep cuts to the federal workforce have sent many Americans job hunting, and scammers have found new ways and new tools to take advantage of tense times. Karen Kafa is in Washington with what you need to know.
Scammers keep up with the times, and with a lot of job cuts in the headlines, consumer advocates say job hunters need to protect themselves.
We're seeing a lot of layoffs in the news now, so people really need to be on guard.
Job scams were already on the rise. The Federal Trade Commission said reports of job scams and fake employment agencies nearly tripled between 2020 and 2024. And the Better Business Bureau also ranked job scams among their riskiest scams of last year, with consumers more likely to lose money or experience identity theft. Among red flags the BBB has seen recently, unsolicited phone calls, texts, and emails about job opportunities, conducting interviews via text, and refusing phone or video chat. Fast job offers that ask for Social Security and banking information under the guise of setting up direct deposit, and work-from-home jobs that involve receiving and reshipping packages, potentially illegally obtained goods. BBB spokesperson Melanie McGovern says taking time to research a company can help job hunters avoid costly mistakes.
The best thing to do whenever you come across a job listing, if it's on a third-party site, even if it's a trusted site, go to that employer's homepage. Not through the link that is provided, but go do a search for that company.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
You're going to want to keep a close eye on the emails rolling into your inbox. The FBI is asking people and companies to take extra steps to protect their Outlook, Gmail, and other popular accounts. It comes after a group of developers targeted critical industries such as healthcare with a ransomware called Medusa. They've breached the data of hundreds of victims. Some tips for protection include turning on two-factor authentication if it's not already on, checking for software updates, and checking for alternative spellings of companies and websites, URLs, and email addresses.
Tracking a return to near normal temperatures. All the full details after the break.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk, heart to heart. So let's talk, for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. The lineup is out for one of Chicago's signature festivals. The top billed artists for Lollapalooza 2025 include Olivia Rodrigo, Tyler the Creator, Sabrina Carpenter, Rufus Du Sol, Luke Combs, Twice, A$AP Rocky, Korn, and Gracie Abrams. The 4-day festival includes more than 170 artists across 8 stages. Pre-sale tickets will go on sale on Thursday morning. The festival typically attracts nearly 500,000 people to Chicago's Grant Park every summer.
And guys, if the weather is anywhere like it was today, Lollapalooza is going to be a great time.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be really beautiful. Noah, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, obviously we can't really predict the weather out that far, but God, can you really wish for us to have some 70-degree weather, especially as we head into August and July? If we take a look outside right now, it really felt like a beautiful spring day across our region. Cooper Science outside, our sky cam showing a temperature of 68 degrees, dew point only 40 degrees, so a little dry, but still windy and warm out there with those south winds at about 20 miles an hour. That visibility about 10 miles an hour, or 10 miles, excuse me, so about as far as you can see on a warm spring night here. But if we look into tonight and especially into the overnight hours, partly cloudy with a low of 51 degrees, southwest winds at about 10 miles an hour, gusting up to 25 miles an hour, so might be a little brisk out there if you're headed out anywhere, but still pretty warm compared to what we've seen this week. Now tomorrow, going to be cloudy but still warm, 53 at that bus stop, 59 at noon, 63 up into the afternoon, but look at those winds here, gusting all the way up to 20 miles an hour, and that's going to bring that moisture and that added precipitation into our region here. Now we're cloudy for most of the day, but as we head into tomorrow night, right around showtime here, 9 p.m. Wednesday, right along that I-69 corridor, we're seeing the broken line of showers and possibly a few thunderstorms into our region here. Wouldn't rule out an isolated rumble of thunder or a stronger cell or two, but luckily it moves out as we head into Thursday, and we're left with clearer and calmer conditions, at least as we head into Thursday morning. Now, because of that threat tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening hours, the Storm Prediction Center currently has us in a marginal, now that's a 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. The higher threats currently to the west here from the Chicagoland area all the way down to Terre Haute in that 2 out of 5, but 1 out of 5 that marginal risk. Not expecting widespread severe weather, but we're definitely going to watch out for damaging winds to be the main threat, maybe a few pockets of hail, and can never rule out that isolated chance for 1 or 2 brief spin-up tornadoes. Something we're definitely going to have to be weather aware of, but we're not expecting widespread severe weather. One thing we are expected to be widespread, though, is those wind gusts here. As those storms are moving through tomorrow night, those south-southwest wind gusts, wind 30, 35 miles an hour in several places, and even after those storms, it's going to continue to be gusty all the way through Thursday. But look at this. We see these wind gusts coming out of the north as that cold front moves through by the time we head into Thursday afternoon, bringing that much cooler weather into our region here. And while we might think of spring here, it's still going to be kind of cold and pretty wintry across our region. Our average frost, April 16th, and our earliest last frost of the season, March 28th of 1999, so we're still going to be pretty chilly throughout the first part of April here, and that's reflected in our 6 to 10 day above average temperatures out west along the Rockies and the Canadian, or the California coast, excuse me, below average temperatures here in the Great Lakes and the Midwest, so might still want to get those plants and not plant anything outside, maybe keep those house plants still inside for another couple of weeks here. But our extended forecast showing 64 on Wednesday with that rain chance, 46 as that cold front passes through on Thursday, flurries possible in the afternoon, so something you want to be aware of as well, 54 on Friday, 50 on Saturday, remaining right around normal, but we see those rain chances return 60% on Sunday, 30% on Monday, and then 46 on Tuesday. And I know, guys, seems like we have 4 seasons in a week sometimes in Indiana, and this is certainly that this week. Sunshine, rain, thunderstorms, snow, just another day in Indiana, I suppose.
I'll keep my jacket handy. Thank you, Noah. Of course. There's a lot more to get into on NewsLink Indiana. Jace Miller has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Braylon and Demar. One Cardinal team is red hot and another has a new head of the table. Find out who next in sports.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Students who can read by the end of 3rd grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you're reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jace Miller with sports. Exciting news coming out of the Ball State soccer team. NewsLink Indiana, Stephen Grotta has more.
After the best opening 7-game stretch in the last 5 years, the Cardinals soccer team was unable to make the MAC tournament for the first time in 3 years. Then, after a head coach departure in the offseason, Cardinal fans were left wondering what this meant for their soccer program. Enter new head coach Andy Stutes. With 22 years of coaching experience at the collegiate level, Stutes didn't shy away from the opportunity to become a head coach for the very first time.
You know, I've been doing this a long time, and certainly being a first-time head coach, there's things that we're going to learn, no doubt about it. But I do feel prepared in that way to jump in and get going.
And for Stutes, his choice to come to Ball State was an easy one.
The opportunity to lead a program that has had success in the past, and you know, there's a good roster here, and there's just a lot of things kind of lined up for this to be a great opportunity.
Coming from an SEC school, one thing Stutes brought with him is his championship mindset.
That's why we play. We play because we're competitive. We play because we want to win championships and hold trophies at the end of the year.
But what can fans expect from Coach Stutes' new team come fall?
My hope is something really exciting.
And for Stutes, that starts with
a really fast-paced style of game, an attacking-oriented style of game, and I think our fans are gonna enjoy it also.
Fans can get a glimpse of this newly coached soccer team in the fall as their season kicks off. In Muncie, Stephen Grotta, NewsLink, Indiana.
Pitching things over to the baseball diamond, Ball State's baseball team faced off in a doubleheader this past week. NewsLink Indiana's Xavier Harris has the details.
Over the weekend, Ball State men's baseball claimed a series win against Toledo. The team dominated Friday's matchup with a 12-2 win and carried that momentum into Saturday with the 8-7 victory. The final matchup on Sunday resulted in a tough loss for the Cards, falling 6-3 and ultimately snapping the team's 8-game winning streak. Despite the most recent loss, the team remains grateful on what they have achieved thus far and look to carry that momentum forward.
I'm proud of our guys, though. 8-game streak, starting off the MAC 5-0 until that loss. So when you win a series, you got to be happy. You got to move on to the next one.
Another standout performance is that one of Keegan Johnson, having a strong outing on Friday, keeping his undefeated record, and also winning MAC Pitcher of the Week this past week. He acknowledges that losing isn't fun, but to keep the same success, it is crucial for the team to keep pushing forward.
We've bonded super well. It's always fun to win. Losing today was hard, but it's always good to be on a winning streak. Not going to change much. Get back to the basics. Trust the plan. Just keep moving forward.
The team believes that if they are able to continue to build on their chemistry and improve their performance as the season goes on, there is no reason why they can't go far.
I've been amazed at the chemistry we have, and I think that's one of the reasons we got a nice record. So hopefully we can keep it going. I see no reason why we can't with the guys that we have on the team and the way they're pulling together.
In Muncie, Xavier Harris, NewsLink, Indiana.
It's great to see the baseball team doing so well right now. Coach Maloney picking up his 1,000th win a couple weeks ago. But hey, you know what else is hot right now? March Madness. The tournament started tonight. We just saw, actually just a little bit ago, Alabama State had a Hail Mary to win it in the first 4 games. So my question is, who do you guys have winning it all?
So the basketball fan of me says Duke, but the Midwestern fan of me says Michigan. But I kind of got Duke going. Going the distance.
Cooper Flag, yeah. I'm going to have to go with Michigan, too. I've been a Michigan fan ever since I was little.
Yeah, so. It's a little toddler.
Oh, yeah. I was basically raised on it, so.
Yeah. Goodness. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jace. Coming up, we have a look at your campus coverage.
And one final look at this week's weather. Don't go anywhere.
Yarr! All I wanted was my treasure, and I wound up with a lawsuit from my neighbors, and a belly full of regret.
Thanks, Salty Pete. What a powerful dig story. Okay,
Great class, everybody. Before we go, let's stand and say the safe digging pledge. Shovels don't know right from wrong, but I do. And I'll always contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before digging. It's the only way to dig.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Daniel Huber, and this is your campus coverage. Porcelain beads, seashells, and stones are some of the many charms used by one student who is bringing her charm to the campus community by making jewelry. Spring is in bloom, and students across campus are embracing the sun.
Hi.
Including co-owner of Orchid Mantis Arts, Elliot McBride. When the weather is nice, you might spot her sitting outside the Doherty complex, making and selling earrings, necklaces, and bracelets.
When I sit in nature, I'm not feeling sad when I create. I'm feeling bubbly, I'm feeling happy. And I think I put a lot of that bubbliness into my work, if that makes sense. It's not sadness, it's a lot of expression of happiness.
McBride got into jewelry as one of the many hobbies she picked up from her mom. She says this hobby has made her meet many people.
Yesterday, I got around like 5 or 6 people, which was really nice. And they came over, and then they would invite their friends too. So that was really cool. Yeah, take a look around, and I can put these over here if you want to look at them, but these are all earrings. Do you have anything kind of like gothic? I have this red and black pair that might fit the vibe. Oh my God, yeah.
McBride tries to connect with the people who stop by her shop.
Feel free to stop by anytime I'm out here. You're all good.
And with that, she finds a connection with herself.
But I think this opportunity, like this shop, really gives me the ability to see the good in what people see in me. But truly, the community is what makes me want to keep working. So I think the best part of having a business on campus is just connecting with the people here.
And some customers may say that McBride is a gem of the campus community. Now, McBride doesn't have an official time for when she is working on merchandise, but you can see her at CCon 2025 at the Elaine Pincher Student Center on March 29th. Let me tell you guys, talking to her, she was just very much a personality. She was wonderful. What she does do is when you go up to her, she looks at your aesthetic and what you enjoy, and she personally hand selects jewelry for you that might fit. She suggested this one necklace with a little she shell on it that I really liked.
Very eccentric. Thank you, Daniel. And now, one final look at weather.
Yeah, thank you guys. Would be really hope for more weather outside for us to enjoy on campus here, but sadly that's not going to be the case here over the next couple of days. 80% chance of rain on Wednesday with some isolated severe storm chances in the afternoon, rain chances, and even some snow flurries Thursday afternoon before we calm down and cool off. 54 on Friday, 50 on Saturday. Rain chances return, 60% chance of rain on Sunday, 55, 52 on Monday, and then 46 on Tuesday as we cool down into next week. So honestly, guys, a little bit of a return to winter weather especially, so really not looking like spring for the next week or so.
Thank you, Noah. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page and YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.